Welcome to Kicking It In, where we break bread and talk about martial arts and what's happening. I'm your host, Shihan, Chef Ya Sigiri. Before we get started, like and subscribe to this channel. Also, I would like to give deep bow to John Kata and the Philadelphia Hall of Fame for honoring Grandmaster Michael Bouncy Bailey, Soki Lou Brown, and Hanshi Brown Sugar Williams, and many other at the Philadelphia Hall of Fame honors on July 24th, 2021. We also going to continue today by blanching the broccoli for the sesame chicken and broccoli with brown rice. Alright, blanching is basically a cooking process, a cooking method where you submerge fruits or vegetables in hot water and then shock them in cold water to stop the cooking process. On today's Kicking and Eating, let's go. And what's happening, kicking and eating, kicking and eating. We bricking bread on the spot thing. Kicking and eating, kicking and eating, kicking and eating with my guests, that's a sure thing. Kicking and eating, kicking and eating. Our praises due to the one that made all things. That's dope. Tell us about, because everybody's telling me about the Judge John Phillips film, Black Masters of Martial Arts. Everybody tells me about that because people don't realize that a lot of these martial artists back in the days, they did a lot of different things, but due to our environment, our situations, a lot of them did not have the ability to afford certain things where they could document your history. And this is one of the reasons that the Kicking and Eating podcast came to be in. Tell us about doing that film and how fun was it for you?
Well, it was fun to me, because I don't know, I might have been about 6 or 7.
Wow.
And you just on the set in different places, because a lot of it was filmed in New York City in different places, so just being around a lot of the great masters, like that was fun. The one thing though that was a little nerve-wracking, which was when I had to do my speech,
Yeah.
I had to have my eyes closed. They gave me this bell that was like this long.
Oh man.
It was like half the size of that I was. I was supposed to ring it at the end, you know. And we had to do the take over a couple of times because I had to
Mm.
have my eyes closed as I was saying, the words,
Mm-hmm.
and my eyelids kept fluttering. So like, no, you got to do it where your eyes are not fluttering. Like,
Yeah.
I was having a hard time doing that part. But
Uh,
but the words I had that down. I could
uh,
do that. And don't ask me to repeat it because at this point I can't remember. But that was fun. And again, it was a moment that brought pride to the system. You
yeah.
know,
Yes. Yes.
and they weren't
Yes.
really a whole lot of little kids
Mm-hmm.
in that documentary.
Yes. Yes.
So that was really you know that was dope. That was a dope experience for me.
Talk about Adrenaline magazine. You remember that?
No.
Yeah, your brother's telling me about that. He was like, "Yeah, she did Adrenaline magazine,"
Oh man, I mean, I there, there have been, I did a few interviews back in, I want to say like maybe the mid '80s,
yeah, yeah.
the early '80s, because I was heavy on the circuit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had won, several grand championships in self defense and
Mm,
Kata, and
mm,
you
mm.
know,
Talk
breaking,
about it. That's right.
so it was like, and I was this young girl, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you you're a hot commodity,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so to speak, you
Hot
know,
pocket.
but but all the other stuff, as nice as it was, it wasn't as important to me as the actual body of work.
Yes,
It was
yes,
like
yes,
at
yes,
that
yes,
time it was like, well, I'm doing all this, but this is where I want this is what's important to me.
yes, yes,
Doing the
yes,
art itself,
yes,
you know.
yes, yes. And for some people who don't what are these styles that you studied? You know.
Shotokan and
Mm-hmm.
Jiu-Jitsu.
All right, all right, all right. Which rank did you receive that you're most proud of to this very day?
Probably my Shodan.
All right, all
You
right.
know, I would have to say my shoulder. And don't get me wrong, I bled and sweat for all of them, and I'm very appreciative of all of my ranks. But the Shodan, I think, is probably the dearest to me
Mm.
because for a couple of reasons. Naimel and I went up together.
Mm-hmm.
And we were down at headquarters because in the earlier days of Linden Plaza, we would go down to headquarters for
Yes.
promotions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Where was
promotion
headquarters at that time?
at that time. Well, when we first started doing the promotions, it was still at Tompkins,
Okay.
okay, but
So
by
that's
the time,
Tompkins. That's Tompkins Projects
yes,
Center.
in the community center,
Okay. All right.
but when I went for my Shodan, it was on Nostrand Avenue in
The
the
Gorilla Club.
club, yes, on Nostrand, you know,
That's like off of Nostin and Atlantic, Nostin and Dean
yes,
over there. Yeah.
yes,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
you
Yes.
know, and you went once a year, so
Mm.
you made it happen, or you
Yeah.
had to wait till the following year.
Uh huh.
There were no exceptions, and that was it. And when we went, you knew you were gonna work out since
Mm-hmm.
they were gonna work us out. Well, the grandmaster rather, he was gonna work us out, and he worked us hard. And then, our instructors were going to take us down for the promotions,
Mm-hmm.
and you never knew who you were going to have to fight.
Yeah.
or who was going to be throwing you around on that mat.
And that grandmaster would be Edward Pough, right?
Yes,
Professor Edward Pough. Yes.
yes. So it was that was important to me because he signed our certificates.
Mm-hmm.
He tied our belts for us. So like that was like the ultimate, because
Mm.
people don't really realize, like, when you go from white to brown,
Mm-hmm.
you put in a lot of work, yeah,
Mm.
but you're still kind of going through the motions of learning all the techniques, learning all the katas
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatnot. It's not until you reach Shodan that you start to mentally transcend to a whole nother level, right? Because it's
Yeah.
no longer at
Mm-hmm.
that point about the moves per se,
Yeah.
but it starts being, you should, start developing a deeper understanding
Mm-hmm.
of the art and what it is that you're doing, you
For
know.
um for the kicking and eating stream fam out there, um who don't understand martial arts or who are novice to it, what is Shodan?
Well, Shodan is the first black belt.
Okay.
That's the first level black belt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it's like being reborn again.
All right. Okay.
For folks who are in the church, it's like being reborn again. Like, this is
Uh-huh.
where you really start. This is where the mental
So it's the rebirth,
work
right?
starts
Yes.
for you, and really understanding,
Mm-hmm.
what the art is all about.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about um philanthropy. All right. And let's talk about the contributions that your dad has laid down, Soki Lou Brown. And let's talk about the midget ball and what it meant to the community and the enormous amount of people that have went through that.
Oh, it's probably tens of thousands
Mm,
of
mm.
young people who have gone to the Midgets Ball.
Wow.
When the Midgets Ball first started,
Hmm. What is the midget's ball?
well, it's evolved over time,
Okay.
right? So when it first started, it was a dance
Mm-hmm.
where kids would get dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
Girls would put on a nice dress, young men would put on a nice suit.
Yes. Yes.
The young man would learn how to ask a young lady out. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
asking the parents. The young lady would learn how to receive, a young man asking them out.
The
And
trials
then
of
they would,
passage, the
yeah. So
training.
you would go, and you're having a good time, but you're
Yeah.
learning, social skills,
Yes.
and how to be respectful
Mm.
of another person, but also to respect yourself, so that you
Yes.
can be worthy of being respected,
Mm.
the way that you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So over time, though, we what was incorporated was the academic and the community involvement piece,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So young people and mentors would
Yes.
be recognized for their academic and community achievements,
Okay.
you
All
know
right.
because it while it's important to be a great athlete,
Mm-hmm.
you know you're a student athlete.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
reason why student is first, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
the books have to be important, because at the end of the day, once all this athletic ability is gone, this
Mm-hmm.
is still here.
Yes.
You know,
As you think, so you become.
absolutely.
Mm.
And everybody is not going to, no matter what sport you play, everybody's not going to make it to the professional ranks.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, so you have to be able to do something else when the sports are over,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And giving back to your community is important.
Mm-hmm.
That's another piece that's important, that was always stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So the people, um, teachers, nurses, doctors, people who give back to the community that make it whole, would get recognized at the Midgets Ball for what they provide for the community. Because a community is only as good as all of its parts.
Yes.
So everybody is not, you're not going to get there by yourself. You need other people there to help support you to build
Yeah.
that community.
Yeah. Through scholarships, funding, and all these things, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about, since we on the topic of schools, let's talk about you balancing your school life and your martial arts life. What was that like?
Um, I would like to say it was hard, but it wasn't. Because when I was coming up, all my brothers and sisters were very intelligent. So there was always a level of competition.
Yeah.
You wanted, not only did you want to be the best martial artist, but you wanted to be the person coming in with the top report card. You know,
And plus, having a dad who also was in the military, you
and
were
he didn't
very
play that.
regimented.
Yeah, he did not play that. When we were kids growing up, you better have some scrap paper to do your homework on first and make your mistakes there before you start handing in some mess. 'Cause he would tear your stuff up in the middle if you start over. He didn't play that, but it helped me to learn. Like presentation is everything.
Yes, yes,
Like you
yes.
can have the best ideas, but if you give somebody some garbage, paper, it's got grease stains on it and coffee
Yeah.
spills. Like, I mean, even now, as adults, how many of us have been in the workplace and a coworker or a supervisor give you some paper, that they want you to read and do something about? They got coffee rings on there. Like, come on, like that is so unprofessional and disrespectful.
Definitely,
That just like, come
definitely.
on. So you knew not to hand in stuff like that, or erasures. You better learn. When we learned how to erase without flipping with the paper and leaving marks behind. you know. But all of this stuff is things that help you as you become older. These are the soft skills that you need that make a difference as you're trying to move up in the world.
Yeah, yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes. Which did you love the most? Kata, Kumite, or mat work? And which one you think goes first to you? You probably like fighting the most.
no, actually, no. Um, Kata definitely is my first love, probably followed by um the techniques. You know, the rolling, falling on the mat was fine, but that wasn't my passion. It was the actual techniques. Followed by the mite.
All right. Okay, let's balance it with a little of the masculine. All right, because I like to balance it out. I don't like to talk about so much as one thing. Your brother Breeze.
Hmm.
He tells me you taught him to read, and he talks so highly of you. It just make me get a tear right now. I love that brother. Tell us about the bond between you and him.
Oh, like we like this.
Uh,
You know, like nobody can come between that.
uh,
You
uh.
know, and yes, I did teach him how to read
Mm-hmm.
because I was in school. I had already known how to read before I went to school,
Yeah, yeah.
and he was going to know how to read before he went to school. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, like you must be able to read. So I would bring home my book. And I'm sitting him down, like teaching him how to read this.
Uh-huh.
You know, but no, we are extremely close even now. I mean, even our children are more like siblings
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
cousins. You know,
Let's talk about some of the other brothers in the system that you admire and you came up with? I know Kid Chocolate, people like that.
Oh yeah, those are all my brothers.
Uh-huh.
You know, oh, back in the day, being on the floor with them kids, Storm, Steve. Woo!
Mm.
Yeah, that takes me back.
uh,
I mean, it was it was just fun.
yes,
You
yes,
know, it was just
yes.
fun. Like the
Tell
work was
sis,
hard. Like,
yes.
don't get me wrong. It's okay would kill us down here, but we kept coming back. Like
uh,
like all us gluttons for punishment. But
mm.
it was fun being on the floor with them.
Yeah, yeah.
They would have put a push up contest.
Uh,
You know, to see,
uh.
you come in late and get down because the rule was if you come in late, you had to do 25. And sometimes some people made too much of a habit of coming late. So then it became, 25 plus 10 for
uh,
every minute beyond a certain time,
mm.
and they were coming late. They just be sitting out, Then sometimes I thought they were doing that on purpose. And I know sometimes Storm would mess up on the floor
Mm.
on purpose just so that we could go down, and we would punish him for that, you know. And we'd look at him, he smiled like, yeah,
Man, all I could
he
tell
know
you
he did it
is
on purpose.
all I could tell you is that those brothers and you guys drove us because I remember coming to your school a few times and we were like, wow, we were like, they are good. We gotta step our game up. So we used to watch a lot of karate flicks at that time, drive-in theater. I think it used to be 3 o'clock on Saturdays. And
Yep,
we
three to
used
five,
to,
everybody was upstairs.
yep. We used to imitate a lot of the movies, and we used to come up with different ideas, and we used to say, "I can't wait till we go back there. We're gonna shoot this, we're gonna shoot that." But you guys inspired us because they say iron sharpen iron, and you guys, we were definitely at that time because of our soul keys. We always had to be on point, and we love come to that school. Something else I want to talk about. I want to go a little more. You get a little older. Why Brooklyn College?
Why did I go to Brooklyn College?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because when I decided to go into education, and that's just a little story. I saw an ad in the paper for a
Mm-hmm.
teacher fellows program.
Mm-hmm.
I was working for ACS at the time as a caseworker, and so I said, I'm gonna apply.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a change,
Mm-hmm.
so I applied and got in.
Mm-hmm.
So the program that I had to take was a master's program in order to get my teaching license.
Yes.
So it was at Brooklyn College.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I actually wound up at Brooklyn College.
Mm.
You know, it was a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Brooklyn College. It's definitely one of your top colleges in the country, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like that for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
The education there is top notch.
Mm-hmm. The one that made all things. Jumbo, 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 jumbo. Big up the ranks that's hitting like gumbo. Podcast lit like power with a jitsu. 8 feet down from bouncy to bolo. Fire with the topics when I interview. They teach it to gritty like sharp as Kinsu. Each one teach one, then we continue. Build and destroy all negative around you. Spilling all the beans so we could grow and feed you. Like and subscribe so we could later hit you.